This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
What is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? We are here live for Sunday Sessions, Divisional round, Cincinnati at Buffalo. Unfortunately, no matter how the cards fall, this will be the last game played at Highmark Stadium because of the stupid Jaguars. But we got a lot to get into. We're going to try and cut it right into that half hour. We're going to give you your inactives if they come out. We're going to talk all about this game. I'm so excited. As always, Right below me down here, we have Mr. Ryan Thomas from the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. What's up, RT?
What's going on, Swank? Long time no talk.
I
What's
know.
it been, about 24 hours?
Less than, I feel like, yeah.
Less than, yeah. Oh, man, what a day to be a Bills fan, right? This is a big, big game. Everybody's pumped up for it. Can't wait to dive into it on the show today.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And, of course, my triplet brother from another mother, Mr. Scooter Magooter, right over here, right next to me today. What's up?
What's up, Bills Mafia, Bills family? Guys, divisional playoff round. I'm telling you what, I posted earlier this morning about 3 o'clock saying I'm counting the Bills circling the wagon instead of sheep tonight. Man, oh man, have I been thinking about this game all week. Couldn't sleep. I'm so pumped. I started drinking a little early. Cheers to those of you that got the Kraken already. It's going to be a 3 o'clock football game, which is kind of weird, but hey, I'm up for it. I'm up for it. Let's go Bills.
Let's go Bills indeed. I'm going to tell you, hopefully we can all get through our anxiety and our nervous energy. My dad, my mom called me right before the show, started getting me all worked up over everything that's going on. I literally cannot wait until 3 o'clock. Scott, let's dive into it, dude. What are you looking for out of our Buffalo Bills offense facing these Cincinnati Bengals today?
Well, as you said earlier, we got another news report, injury report saying Trey Flowers, their cornerback, is injured. This Cincinnati Bengals defense is pretty tough. So I'm hoping that our offense, and I'm going with your prediction there, Swank, Allen and Diggs catch fire. I've got a FanDuel bet out saying that Davis is also going to catch fire, scoring touchdowns. The weather's okay for this kind of football game, for this airing it out. So less mistakes, because you know the Buffalo Bills front office harped on that this week. Less mistakes. Gosh darn it, stop those red zone turnovers. And I think if we can manage that, we don't even have to win the turnover battle. Just have less than you have previously and don't do it in the red zone. I think we'll be all set. I think there's nothing to hide in that playbook. There's absolutely nothing to hide in that playbook. So all or nothing, man.
Gosh darn it indeed, my friend. Now listen, RT, I want your takes, but we have breaking inactive news right now from our Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to read off this list. We got Jaron Maiden, safety. He's inactive. Christian Benford, inactive. Not a big surprise. Ike Bodker, inactive. Daquan Jones, one of those big defensive tackles. He is inactive today. I'll go ahead and save you the suspense. Jordan Phillips is not inactive. So at least we got JP and not DQ or DJ. DQJ? DQJ. That's good.
DQJ, that works.
Terrell Bernard is out. Balin Spector out. Tommy Sweeney out. So really the only person on that list, big Daquan Jones. He's been a real solid rock for us in that interior defensive line. RT, is there anything on this inactive list that's giving you pause, my friend?
To be honest with you, no. Outside of Daquan, I do like to see him out there, but I'm happy, going back to last week's show, we talked about whether Jordan Phillips would be in or not. He wasn't in last week. Happy to have him back because he does provide the defense a little bit of that extra juice, as if this defense needs it. I mean, last week, when the going got tough, and it did in moments against Miami, I think Tremaine Edmonds set the tone with his crack of a hit. And I hope to see a little bit more of that urgency today. I hope to see that from the get-go coming out of the tunnel.
Let's hope Mixon is on the receiving end of that, just to kind of
Yes. Talk's a big game, but come game time, it's usually Joe B and company and not Joe Mixon and company.
Yeah.
I mean, 3.9 yards an average is telling the whole story for him.
Right.
I mean, that pop last week, the over-the-shoulder camera shot of Sean McDermott squatting, and then that happening right in front of him and just clapping. Oh, man, dude. Yep. That got me so juiced.
It's great.
It's awesome. Well, RT, I know you talked a little bit about the inactive list here. What do you think about offensively what the Bills got to achieve to win this game today?
It's got to be balanced. It's got to be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And what I mean by that is establishing a run game early, keeping Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase off the field. I think time of possession in this one is actually going to be a much more important statistic than it was, obviously, against Miami. Miami couldn't really sustain many drives. They were winning based off of turnovers. if we don't give Cincinnati more opportunities to go back on the field offensively and score points, put points on the board, whether they're field goals or touchdowns, we got a chance in this one. And the best way to do that is to not only not turn the ball over, but spread it around. Don't force Josh Allen to drop back 50, 55 times in a game. James Cook has been cooking. They've liked what they've seen from him, as have we. And I think that this game is going to be a physical one. So I hope to see Dawson Knox out there, making some plays as well. Get it to James Cook early, get it to Dawson Knox early. Don't try to stretch the field early in the game. Just play a nice, methodical offense. Keep Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase off the field and force Cincinnati's defense to beat you.
Hell yeah. I like it. For me, it's all about this guy right here. This guy right here. I feel like the best wide receiver in the league has been slept on all week. I think he feels disrespected, and I think he's going to show out and show you exactly who he is today. Alongside of that, I think my boy Gabe Davis, playoff Gabe, is going to come down, and we're going to get a show today. I think we're going to get a big old show today, especially now that Trey Flowers is out. We got a banged-up defense, a banged-up offensive line in Cincinnati. This is going to be the game we wanted last week, I feel like. I think the Bills have been disrespected all week across the board. Josh Allen disrespected all week, and they're going to show who they are today, and I can't wait. I just cannot wait. I'm so amped up. So defensively, I just touched on the fact that offensive line, 2/3 of it is not starters. What do we got there, Scott? What do you think we're looking at offensively from the Cincinnati Bengals today?
You put out a Twitter. Again, I'm going back to your Twitter earlier today about what's the X factor.
Oh, yeah.
And my first thought, Swank, was X factor is going to be how this defense handles the offense. Without their line, they're missing Jonah Williams, who went down with an ankle injury, knee injury last week. Lyle Collins was out a couple weeks ago. Alex Kappa is out now. You're right. 1/3 of their lines are intact. And what the best thing the Buffalo Bills can do is create pressure, confuse this line, and get in Joe Burrow's face. He was the number one sacked quarterback last year, and in the playoffs he was sacked a whole bunch of times. They still made the Super Bowl, but you can get to him and you can create pressure. I think the X factor. I'm not gonna say my X factor. I think Leslie Frazier needs to hone in on this weakness, because it is a weakness, and just dial in something that it would be so much fun for us Bills Mafia fans to watch and understand that Leslie Frazier, hey man, this guy knows. We already know he knows what he's doing. But let's just wreak havoc on this Joe Burrow. And like we always say, you make the quarterback's life miserable, it's going to be a fun day for the defense.
Our friend Angel says, hoping Oliver shows the national stage what he's quietly been doing all year. Dude, I could not be more on board for that. That is a great statement. Great take. Love it. RT, what are you thinking down there, buddy?
It's to Scott's point. If you were to swap Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, let's just say hypothetically Joe Burrow is the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen is the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, you'd feel safer if you had Josh Allen as the Bengals quarterback as a Bengals fan, because of how mangled and worn down this offensive line is. Josh Allen's got that escapability. He's got the athleticism that no other quarterback has with his size. It's a marvel to watch, obviously, for us every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. If Joe Burrow was on the Bills, you'd say, well, maybe we need that athleticism. So it's an interesting scenario here where I think this offensive line has been horrible for Cincinnati. They have tried like heck to try to make it great, and yet even when they tried, they don't have that depth. So even if they had all starting five, I would say this offensive line is a little bit susceptible to pressure and allowing their quarterback to get hit. But now that they don't have that depth behind their starters as well, this should be a game where the tempo has to be set early on. To Scott's point, Leslie Frazier likes to let these guys cover, and he likes to let these guys kind of make their own assignment decisions. Leslie Frazier needs to set the tone in the room and say, hey, we're going to be coming after this guy. He's not Josh Allen. He can't move as well as Josh Allen. We can get after him. With or without Von Miller, I'm fully confident that the front four, front seven can do what they need to do. Shout out to my guy, Matt Milano. my eyes are on him today in terms of how he's going to cover and how he's going to attack and stop the run and stop Joe Burrow. I think you got to set the tone in your own house, right? You got to set the tone early and often, and I hope that they can do that today.
Well, they've always mentioned how slippery Burrow is. He's not someone that's going to roll out of the pocket and create magic, but he is slippery. He does avoid tackles and sacks, but he does get hit a lot. And going back to this active roster, with Jordan Phillips and Ed Oliver manning the interior defensive line, I think that whole slippery factor is not going to work because he's not going to be able to slip up the middle. Ed Oliver does a great job of containing his gaps and not getting pushed out of position. And Jordan Phillips, with his massive size, I love Daquan just as much as I love Jordan, but I think the advantage comes to Jordan Phillips when it comes to this style offense that they're playing, and he brings that extra spunk to it.
Juice, man. It's all about juice. That's what I was going to say. If he can stay healthy throughout this whole game, which he's really struggled to do this season, but if he can stay healthy through this whole game, he makes one play, and to me, it's worth 5 because they ride that hype train all the way to the next series. Like, I think it's really important for him to be out there. And yesterday on the Thomas Take Sports podcast, we were talking about it, and my thing was they're going to double team Group. You got to double team Group. So now you're taking the third of the line that is actually the good part of the line, and you're putting those guys on Group so that he doesn't Von Miller Joe Burrow. So to me, the most important part of the defensive game is going to be Shaq Lawson and AJ Epinesa. And between those two, they're going to eat today because they're going up against depleted second string line at least 3.
Yeah, they're on their third left tackle.
Yeah. Well, I was saying at least 3 sacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think, so, you're getting into the depths of that side of the line. There's no way they can afford to swing another guy out that way and try to block those dudes on the other side of the line. At Oliver, I think this is just, it's setting up to be a great defensive line day. And I think they really need to take advantage of it. I wanted to hit up, I see all you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for hanging out. We see the regulars, see some new people. Of course, we are part of the Buffalo fan base now and sponsored by none other than the 26 shirts. So go check them out. Amazing shirts for amazing causes. It's great. It's a win-win-win. Chris Stevenson posted a little question. He said, what does everyone think is the Achilles heel of this game? The Bengals banged up O-line or the Bills banged up secondary? I'm going to go ahead and step back for a second and say, I guess you can consider the secondary over the course of the season banged up, but right now I'd say they're healthier than they've been in a long time. What do you guys think?
I agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah, my bad. I agree. I think to the question, is that the Achilles heel or the perceived Achilles heel, I should say, just based on the past? Or is it the fact that the biggest part of the Bengals offense is not only Joe Burrow, but who he's throwing the ball to?
Yeah.
With Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. That's what is worrying me, at least. So is it like he's worried about how the Bills secondary matches up against those receivers? That's another conversation. But to Swank's point, this is the healthiest that the secondary has been all season long. And I think Cincinnati, their offensive line is as banged up as it's ever been heading into this game. So that's how I see that for sure.
There you go. I agree with you, Ryan. I believe they're not necessarily the Achilles heel. They're the ones that everybody's going to be watching. And
yes.
Let me tell you, when the Buffalo Bills went into this year's draft, they drafted Kaiir Elam. And it wasn't just to be able to defend Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman and all that. It was also to defend Higgins and Chase. And now that we've had a whole season with those guys together and Trey White, it seems to be 100% now. It's everything we wanted. It's the matchup that we were preparing for. Other than Micah Hyde being injured, Marlowe had his reps last week, got an interception. I think we'll be all set. I think we'll be okay. I don't think they're the Achilles heel, and I think that secondary will surprise you this week because now we are looking at the 3 out of the 4 defensive backs that we wanted at the beginning of the season. Kaiir Elam, Trey White, Jordan Poyer, and obviously Hyde's out. So I think we didn't just prepare for Kansas City. We've prepared for teams like the Cincinnati Bengals, and here we are.
I think what Bean has
Yep.
done, and he got labeled as like drafting to beat KC. Absolutely, that's part of it. They've been my. I almost said my Sarah. My wife just came down with a Jordan Poyer jersey and put her hands on her hips like Superman. Yeah, he got kind of labeled as like trying to build a team just to beat KC. I don't think that's kind of part of the storyline, but really the NFL is going towards that model. That is what KC and Buffalo and now the Bengals, like, the Eagles, this model, Miami, this model is working.
Yep.
You have to build a team to defend this type of team, not a specific team. And absolutely great take, man. That is 100% the way I feel. And I think we've already beat Kansas City. We've already beat Miami twice. I think that we're pretty good with our formula. I know we only got a snippet of that first game after the tragedy with DeMar, but without that Trey White pass interference call, are they moving the ball the way they were moving it? I don't know. Like they got a huge chunk of the field right off the bat with that play and that call. So let's see what happens today. I think the two deep safety look, they know how to defend this kind of offense and just putting the pressure to them. I'll tell you one thing that I love very much that I've been seeing from Leslie Frazier. He's been dropping Groot back and blitzing Milano, blitzing Edmonds, and those kind of looks are really hard to defend. And he, like, Groot looks good in coverage when he's doing it. It's not like back in the day when they pissed off Mario Williams trying to do that kind of stuff, right? Like this is like he's athletic, long, he can play that, and that's the scary kind of stuff that, like, I want to see, man. We're divisional round. Let's go.
I mean, Groot's size alone, if he drops back into that half of the field, his length alone can take out good 20 yards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's a monster. And to the question too, to the comment, I should say, comment question, who do you have more faith in? Dean Marlowe, Teron Johnson, and Jordan Phillips, or the backup to Alex Kappa, Lale Collins, and Jonah Williams? I don't even know who they are. You know what I mean? I don't know Cincinnati's roster. I should know their names. I should have those in front of me. But my point is, those guys, our guys, have had the opportunity to play based on these injuries, and they're more accustomed to stepping up into this type of backup role, where those guys haven't. And they're going up against a very good defense. So it should be fun to see how that shakes out.
And it's very hard to snap the ball when you can't hear anything.
What?
This is true.
We're playing. Our Bills Mafia is going to be there and loud. And trust me, those offensive linemen are going to be like,
good. Yeah. Let's do it.
You're not where you're supposed to be. I can't hear you.
And I tell you what, a few of those plays, that's all it's going to take. A few of those plays, and you're going to get someone like Jordan Phillips and Milano and our hype guys to just get this defense jacked up to keep creating that pressure, man. I'm telling you.
Make some plays early on.
Get myself worked up.
Go ahead, buddy.
You might see Joe Burrow try to line up under the left guard instead of the center, and they'll be like, Joe, one over, move over.
My bold prediction is 3 tight ends to the left, to the left side of the line by halftime.
His center, Ted Karras, is just coming off an injury a couple weeks ago. So, man, oh, man.
Our resident meteorologist, Lisa Johns, and her husband, John Johns, are in the comments. But Lisa says, with her weather report, this just in, weather report, very chilly and no wind. So there you go, Scott.
I'm not going to say it anymore because I know Lisa's going to come on and tell us. Thank you, Lisa.
That was like one of my favorite parts of the show last week, dude, where you're like, we don't know what it is. And she's just like, just went outside. It's cold. All right, guys. Oh, man, we're gearing up for this game. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here. Let's roll around, and it's time for our score predictions and bold predictions. And RT, why don't you lead us off, buddy? What's your score prediction and bold prediction for this divisional round playoff game?
Bat and lead off, score prediction. I got the Bills winning it. I think it's going to be in the 30s. I said yesterday on my podcast with Swank, I got the Bills winning 38-17. And the reason for that score is that I do see the Bills actually forcing turnovers of their own. The national media is talking all this smack about how Josh Allen's a turnover-happy quarterback. I think the Bills defense is actually taking note of that just as much as Josh Allen. It's like, hey, we had some turnovers last week against Miami. Let's force some against the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, I could see 2 interceptions from him, one caught by Kyer Elam. I could see another caught by Trey White. I think these guys are going to be on their P's and Q's because they have to be. And I think that Joe Burrow is going to be forcing the football down the field early to try to set the tone for Cincinnati. And it could lead to some early turnover opportunities. The Buffalo Bills winning 38-17.
I love it. All right, Scooter. You got me on P&Ns, pins and needles. What do you got, buddy?
I'm sticking my 40 burger. I think the Bills are going to score 42 points. And I would normally have this game a lot closer just because Burrow does Burrow things with Higgins and Chase and Boyd and Hurst as their tight end and mixing out of the backfield. Even Perrine out of the backfield could be dangerous. But the game is made a lot of times in the trenches, and the offense for them is so depleted that I just don't see them having a chance of scoring a lot of points. So 42-17, 42-24 is where I'm going to go with that. My bold prediction, and I want this prediction to come true because it's going to win me about $1,700. Diggs and Davis, 100 yards receiving and touchdowns. Allen, 300 plus. That's what I'm going with. And that it's going to be a game. And we're going to go up. We're going to get excited. First thing we're going to think about is we're not going to give up this lead, are we? Because what happened last week? I think we're just going to keep the foot on the pedal and we're just going to keep scoring. 42 points, man.
I love it.
Love it.
I think there's been a lot of talk this week. And I don't think that the national media has ever respected Buffalo. I think we were the hot hand in the preseason. I think it was trendy to get on board. I think with all the tragedies and the turmoil and just the horrible things that have happened to not only this team, this city, this fan base, it was like the hot ticket to kind of be on Buffalo's side and root for Buffalo. And now all of a sudden Josh Allen has a bad game that they won in the playoffs. And he put up, 30 plus points and 300 plus yards and 3 TDs. Bad game. And a couple interceptions. Sure. Bad game. Has a bad game. That's his bad game.
One was on John Brown.
One was on John Brown.
There. Yeah.
Oh, one was on Beasley too. I mean, you could say both.
One was on Beasley. Yeah.
John Brown cut the pattern short, and Beasley let it bounce off his chest.
Well, yeah. Did it bounce off his chest or did it bounce off that corner's arms? Because he looked like he was a little early. But either way,
you can blame the fumbles on.
Yeah, man. That's kind of like my whole thing with this week building up into it is like you can kind of change the narrative to whatever you want, right? Like fans find what they want to find and they make whatever. I would say that like us as a fan base have been stomped down to the ground and abused for so many years that I don't need to make things up. I can see what happens. So to me, I'm very glad that everybody nationally besides Kyle Brandt has forgotten about us. I'm very glad that they're talking a bunch of junk about Josh Allen. I'm very glad that we're playing this game and that the Chiefs won the next game because to me, not to look ahead, this is what had to happen. This is what has to happen for us to get where we want to go. We need to go through every single one of these guys and we need to be the team that we know we are and beat all these motherfuckers. Anyway, that being said, 35-24 is where I've landed. It's kind of a combination of where I was with the K-Gun and where I was yesterday. Me and Robbie from Let's Talk 716 Sports over there, we kind of have a little chat going on, and he asked me for my prediction. That's where I'm at. And I think that one of those scores comes in garbage time. I think we lean on the gas and we show everybody who we are today. We show everybody what that Rams game was about today. And see you in the championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. So, bold prediction. My bold prediction.
Diggs heavy, aren't you?
I'm going Diggs heavy. I got to. I wore his flag. I got to. Stephon Diggs, 130 plus, 2 TDs. Gabe Davis, 100 plus, and at least 1. So there you go. That's that bold shit.
$1,700 my way too.
Damn. And I just want to get Scott paid so he can pay me back that money he owes me.
I don't know, right? Friend tax. It's expensive this time of year.
Especially in New York State, right?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. All right, guys. Let's rip around and do some final thoughts and where you can find us, and we'll get ready for this game here. RT, go ahead and lead us off, brother.
Final thoughts from Ryan Thomas. Guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, Bills Mafia, I'm talking to you right now. For a long, long time, too many years, Buffalo Bills were at the bottom. Now, slowly but surely, we worked our way up to the top. We're back here in the AFC Divisional round where we're taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Whether you're watching at home, whether you're at the stadium, be loud. Get into the game. Enjoy this experience because we're living in it. Live in the moment because you guys remember just as well as I do how bad those years were during the drought. And we're back here. We're back again. We're back where we belong, going up against another solid team. 1 week league, week to week. We win this one. We win the next one. We're in the Super Bowl where we belong. Let's get it done today. Go Bills.
Go Bills. Ooh. Coach Thomas, you're going to have a great game day speech, man. I can feel it, dude. I can feel it. All right, Scooter, my brother, what do you got for us?
We're here. We're at the divisional. I mean, you watch the way the Eagles celebrated yesterday, and it was almost like they won the NFC championship. They're going to the Super Bowl. Their owner was on the sidelines. Coaches, they're up in the crowds going like this, and they're hosting another game the next week. So we got to be there. We got to feel that. Bills Mafia deserves it. And I'm going right to it, guys. Do it for DeMar. It's been our motto here at 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. We had something that came in the other day. Do it for DeMar stickers, car decals. All you got to do is message us your address and we'll send them out for free. It's a do it for DeMar kind of motto. We're in the divisional playoffs. These guys stopped this game. This game was delayed because of what the unfortunate circumstances that happened to DeMar, and it needed to happen that way. And he got better. We couldn't have prayed for a better recovery. And he's here with us now. He's watching this football game. And damn well these Buffalo Bills are knowing that they're playing against the Cincinnati Bengals when all this started. And it's just going to be an emotional game for the fans, for the Bills, for the Bengals as well, because they've been hell of supporters with this whole situation. Do it for DeMar. Let's advance. Let's just do it. Cheer loud for us that can't be there. Drink responsible, but drink a lot because it's going to be stressful. This is a good team we're playing. This is no joke. This is the Super Bowl runner-ups, guys. This is no joke. Yeah. So it's going to be a tough game, and we're going to see what our Buffalo Bills are all about. Take care of the mistakes, and we'll be fine. Cheers, and go Bills, fellas.
Nice. You guys see the Deion Dawkins letter? I'm assuming both of you guys saw the Deion Dawkins letter. Came out. Yep. He does one every year. He's done one for like the past 3 seasons, I think. And Deion is one of those dudes that's like the mayor of Buffalo to me. And I always feel like there's a player that fulfills that role no matter what season. You can go all the way back to, the post-Kelly days, starting from there. A Ryan Fitzpatrick, a Fred Jackson, a Stevie Johnson, an Aaron Williams, a Kyle Williams. There's always that guy that is championed by the fan base. Right? Whether they're starters, whether they're not, whatever. It's just that guy that gets it wholeheartedly. And Deion is that guy that gets it wholeheartedly. And the one thing that I took out of that, I mean, a lot. There's a lot in that letter. But the one thing that I really took out of it was that he said they'll forever be connected and they're forever grateful for the Bengals and their fan base for what they did that day. But they can fuck around and find out in the playoffs. And that's what's going to happen today. Those boys are fired up and they're playing for purpose. Bills by $1 billion.
Woo!
I should have just cut the whole show right after that. Anyway, Thanks for tuning in for Sunday Sessions. We love you guys. Cheer loud. Go Bills.
Catch us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. The K-Gun Report. We go live. Join the conversation. Join the Stampede. Go Bills!
Go Bills!
We'll see you next week for the championship game. Go Bills. We're good.
Fucking awesome show. Damn.
this is a dangerous groups that we're dealing